L'chaim, l'chaim. No. I'm not sure what was the sugi of the Fabrengen. So, I'm sure it was something good.
Trying to make the most positive out of each moment, and especially trying moments.
Ah.
You got it.
So there's Yud Shevat, and then there's Yud Aleph Shevat. Now it's already Yud Aleph Shevat. So what's the difference in Yud Shevat and Yud Aleph Shevat? I don't have anything to say, mamash, so this is going to be more b'derech Fabrengen. So there was the Stalkus der Brayats of the Fidik Rebbe on Yud Shevat. But the Kabbalah's Anasias that the Rebbe became Rebbe was in Yud Aleph Shvat. It was Yud Shvat by night, which is Yud Aleph. B'chlal, you see that there's that the Rebbe Rayatz is very much connected to the number 10, to Esser. The Petira is obviously on the Sir Kodesh on the 10th, on Yud Shvat, but everything in his life happened in shleimus of 10. That he passed away in Tafshin Yud, and he's born. Everything was born. Everything that happened on the year, on the 10th year, and he was Rebbe for 30 years, and he was Rebbe for 10 years in Russia, and then another 10 years in Poland and Latvia, and then another 10 years in America, Tafshin. Everything was a process of 10. And by the Rebbe, you see a very deep connection with 11, Dafka, that becomes a Rebbe on Yud Aleph Shvat, and his Yom Haledes is in Aleph Nisan, the idea of 11. What's the difference between 10 and 11? To understand a little bit what's and avoid a little bit. B'chal, 10 is a shleimus, a number of shleimus. Asar Mamaris Nivroilon, Saras Adibras. Everything that has a shleimus, the shleimus of something comes with the number 10. And even before the idea of the Esa spheres, which is obviously connected to Asar Mamaris, it's brought Arbanel and others, the idea of the shleimus of something is 10, because everything has a Rosh Toich Soif, has a beginning, middle, and end, and every Nukuda of the Rosh Toich Soif has a Rosh Toich Soif, and then you have the Koyach HaYuli, which connects all the 9 together. That's why 10 is a Davar Shalom. In Yiddishkeit, 10 is a Eidah, something that's a shleimus, comes from the idea of 10. Where do you find the idea of 11? 11 is connected with the Simone Aktoiris. That is Dafka 11 Simone Aktoiris. The Zohar says because the chilik is the chilik between something in 10 and 11 is 10 is when the oir, when the light of the thing and the kli and the vessel of it become misyachid, they become unified, so therefore they can be considered one thing. So it's called 10. But when the oir is still separate from the kalim, there's still the oirs and the kalim are not yet in the yichud. When there's no unity between the light and the vessel, so it's 11. So b'chal, the idea of klipa, something that's negative, is connected to 11. And the Simone Aktoiris, you have the chelbana, you have the dafkas, things that were that smelled, that had a foul odor. Chazal say that called tefillah shem, but that Moshe Yisrael, they have this idea of at the elevation of something that's negative. But when you take something that's negative and you put it within a positive context, then you elevate. That's Simone Aktoiris. So you take the things that were even more, according to certain shitts, Shainim was actually a blood of a not kosher animal. But you put it in Simon Aktoris, and that was the highest avoid in the base of English, the avoidus Aktoris. The talking about a little today with some, but there was a professor, a very famous professor, I shouldn't get his name, that he was once sitting by Shabbos in my house, and he asked an interesting question. He said, "What is the Torah that you find from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, from the Rebbe, that you find that this Torah is something that he said when he was younger, and when he said the same thing when he was older, something that went through all the years. What was a certain thing that you found, a certain type of an idea that you found when he was in his 30s and you found when he was in his 80s? It's a good shaila. So in the conversation came out that the word is shtus tikdusha. Shtus tikdusha. Shtus tikdusha. Shtus. So this is one in the mimer of Basi Lagani, which is the last mimer that the Rebbe Yatz gave out. The Rebbe gave it out for his. They came out. Then it was the first mimer that the Rebbe said that there's idea of a shtus tikdusha, that there's a person doesn't do something sin, a person doesn't do something negative, only if there's a ruach shtus. Ruach shtus is like a sense of folly, like it's like you know better. You know better, you shouldn't do it, but you fall because of some type of sensation or draw or some type of visceral feeling that you feel like you should be doing this, and then almost immediately you have charata, because everyone knows when you do something that's not really, it's a folly, it's a shtus. Shtus means that it's moving away from the shita. You're not in line. You're doing something out of line. You feel there's a lot of regret. That's why the Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya. So it's a lashon from Shevet HaMusar. It's not a lashon Chazal, but it's a lashon from the earlier Achronim that Shoyim Elohim charatas. Rosh is full of charata, full of regret, because when you know what you have to be doing in this world, and you do a shtus, you do it because there's some type of feeling that you want to do it, and then right away your mind says, that was really foolish, I shouldn't have done that. Let's say you get angry at a person that you really shouldn't be angry at. I don't know if everyone has their moments if they fall. It's a shtus. You're like, really? I shouldn't have done that. It's better if I wouldn't have done. This is the. So what's the ruach shtus of kedusha? Hanli shtus of the Saba that he used to dance. Merakid B'Plas, he used to dance. What is the idea of the shtus to kedusha? So generally people think, or it's thought, that what is the idea of shtus to kedusha? Shtus to kedusha is a type of doing something l'mayla tamadas. It doesn't really make sense why you do this, but the person's doing it. You're connected. You're involved. So you want to be connected to Hashem. You want to be connected. So it doesn't matter, even if it doesn't make sense at this moment. L'mayla tamadas. You continue doing this. But the problem with this understanding of shtus to kedusha is that it's actually not the opposite of shtus to klipa, because this is l'mayla matamadas. This has nothing to do with das. This is not das. This is something in your gut. So shtus kedusha is not that. It's not. It's maybe that's the way it shows up. It's l'mayla matamadas. Shtus kedusha means we have to take the raw energy or the raw sensations of the body and use that for holiness. That, when a person does a mitzvah, okay, besides the fact that a person can do mitzvah nashim l'mada, a person can do it just because they're commanded, and then a person can also do it, they have a little kavana, and they can do it, and then a person can daven, and it can be as pleasurable as the most pleasurable physical thing, and even more so. That you have a relish, an excitement, a passion, an unfathomable passion, beyond das. This is what the Shtus Kedusha means, that you're doing something and you feel excited about it. Like, not just excited, you feel like you're passionate about this thing. And this is God a Chiddush. This is a pretty, this is a novel idea. This is a very big Chiddush. Because normally you think that the avodah is a skafia. What are you supposed to be doing? It's a skafia. Skafia means that you know what a skafia means? Skafia means if you see something that civilt sich, you want to do this, you want to eat this food. I don't know. Let's say skafia and eating, but you say, okay, I'm gonna hold myself back. Or like a bigger level of iskafi is, you're in the middle of eating. I don't know. Maybe you're something that you're really excited about eating. Maybe it's even Shabbos and you're eating cholent. I don't know. Maybe it's mamash. It's kedusha. And then you say, you know what? Let me pause for a second. And this is God. This is a very hard thing. This is a tanis. This is a tanis of the Ravid. Rabbi Yonah talks about it. This is a very big madrega because it's a tanis while you're eating. While you're eating, you're saying, "I'm stopping. I'm pausing." But then there's another, and then there's ishapcha. That's which ishapcha is really. Ishapcha is normally we think of ishapcha as like that's avodas tzadikim. What's ishapcha? Ishapcha means that you're so connected. You're so connected. You're so dovuk. You're so connected with the Eibusher that it's not shot. Who made this food? Who created this? The beauty of the food, or the deliciousness, the tam of the food. The Eibusher created it. And if you're so dovuk in the Eibusher, you can eat. You know, there was many tzaddikim throughout the generations that used to eat a lot. Some people just like to eat, but there was also people that did this avodah. They really relished in the eating of the food. Why? Because it was an awareness that this is the way I'm experiencing Hashem's presence in this world through the food. It's not because my taivas, my desires, my pathetic little connections to food is connected to this. You're following? This is a higher madrega. Yeah, you're eating. You're doing mamash avodah. So, if you say, so what is it saying? It's saying that I don't know if you learned there was the mimer that came out from Basil Lagani, but one of the things that talks about there very strongly is the idea that for Midas on Tzachon to be victorious, the melech is a vaz all his oitzes. The king, king has to be victorious in battle, and there's oitzes on melech. The king has stored up things that he stores from his fathers and ancestors, and this is the big oitzes. But when a king goes to battle and has to be victorious, he's mevaz the oitzes. He just opens up the treasure, and who does he give? Who does he give the treasure to? He doesn't give it to the princes and the ministers. He says even the simple soldier is going to win my war. I have to give him the biggest things. That's the midas on Nitzachon. The Nitzachon should come through. The melech is mevaz the oitzes. And what's the nimshal? What is the nimshal of this? What does that actually mean? It means that in this generation, there's a new Gilui Or, and because of this Gilui Or, there's a Bizuz Oitzers. There's a new revelation. Because of the revelation, there's new koiches are given to people. The Oitzers that were hidden away in the treasures that belonged to the ancestors, to the Avos, there was Avodas Tzadikim for the high Madrega people. Now the Eibusher says that we're ending the war now. Now the war is over. If the war's over, we have to finish the last battle. And to finish the last battle, the Eibusher says, I'm going to be mevazes all the oitzes. The mashal, the famous mashal that about it's a bit doimet to this mashal, but it's the of Pinchas Koritzer that they once saw Chassidus was a shtickle, a mimer from from the Maggid was like roaming around on the ground or something, and they came to the Maggid and they told him this is how could you do this? What are you? So he told him that there's, there was a the prince was very sick. The story, the prince was very sick, and they found the only solution to revive the prince was if they take the crown of the king, and they break it down into little particles, into little tiny dusts, and they feed some type of element, some type of ingredient within the crown of the prince, and the crown, and the gem of the crown of the prince. That if you ground it, and maybe a little bit enters into the mouth of the baby of this child, the child will survive. So 99% of the crown of the gem will be lost because it won't even enter into the child. But maybe on the chance that a tiny little enters, it's worth to destroy the whole thing, because that's the way the kid will survive. So the Pilskar said this is the marshal of Chassidus, that the Eibush said, I'm going to do a business oitzes, I'm going to give you the highest things. So this is a conceptual idea. And Torah Chassidus came and said, okay, we're going to regala the Soides HaTorah, you put some in a Secha Chutza, it's going to be the highest madregas, the highest, deepest secrets of Soid. It's not going to be Soid anymore. It's going to be Gilui. Why? Because maybe one person at one moment will have some type of inspiration and become alive. And for that, it's worth to destroy the whole secret. But here's even a bigger thing. This is the business of Oitzis, is not just that a little bit of a tropim, a little tiny little bit from the crown, from the gem of the crown of the prince, of the king, will enter into the mouth so you survive. But he's saying, here the Eibush says, here, I'm opening up the whole thing. Here, it's open. The Oitz is open. The Oitz is open. You can take whatever you want. You're a simple soldier, or you're a great minister. You're a big Talmud Chacham, you're a Moritz. You're a Pashta Yid. Any person, you can go, you can get the highest treasures. So why don't we do it? You know why? Because we'd rather live pathetic lives. It's easier. It's easier to live a small life. If someone tells you right now, by the way, you can be a tzaddik instantaneously. Never have a machshava zora. Never be angry at another person. Always be davig in the Eibusher. It's achrayus. I would rather live like a simple life. Yeah, once in a while I'd like to be connected. But most of the day I could be just an angry guy walking around. So the problem is we don't want to claim our greatness. We like to live. We like to live in darkness. We like to live in schmutz. It's a comfort zone. You ever saw a chazer? He sits in the schmutz. That's his place. He likes it. There's a little sefer called Ramach Leisius from Groningen, Mashbi and Lubavitch. It's a little sayings that he has over there. So he brings down, I guess then there were chickens. People were involved with chickens. People had chickens. So he says that a chicken that gets dirty, you can hose down the chicken for 3 days. You're never going to get the dirt out. Because all the sand is into the wings. It's impossible to get the sand out. And you can wash the chicken for 3 days. It's not going to get out. But if the chicken wants, it can give one little shake with its feathers and become totally clean. So,
Snarry me off a kummi.
Snarry me off a kummi. Just give you a snarry. You want to get out of the pond. You want to get out of the schmutz. You want to stop playing in the sandbox. You want to play in the sandbox, Gesundheit. And someone's going to come to you and going to try to clean you and clean you and clean you. Okay, a little cleaner, Or you want to jump out of the sandbox. You want to jump out of the sandbox? Clean your wings and you'll fly. But we're used to the sandbox. Because, I don't know, maybe because of your education. I don't want to blame the whole system and thing. I don't know. People are used to their sandbox. And they like being in the sandbox. They like being in the dirt. That's the comfort space. That's what they are. And they just says, wait a second. I want to give you everything that I have, the biggest oitzer. I just need you to take it. I'm not going to give it. To get out of the box, I'm going to open up the door. It's the business oitzer. The doors are open. But you have to come in. I can schlep you, I can bring you almost, I can get you to the door, but you're going to have to walk through the door. If you're going to want to get out of the sandbox, you're going to have to give a shake. A treisel. A hechekite. A little bit higher. Lift yourself a little higher. Lift yourself a little higher, be connected. All able to live the way the Eibusher wants. So this is the avodah of Yud Aleph. This is the avodah to. It's not the shlemus. It's even us, everybody. Kol simane aktoros, all the simane aktoros, the nice smelling ones, the unsavoring ones. Everything can become part of this chat katinias katrana. Everything can become part of this beautiful aktoros. You have to put yourself to it. You have to put yourself to the project. So the Eibusher should help. We should. You shouldn't say the Eibusher help because the Eibusher helps. It's not the Shaila. It's not the Eibusher. We shouldn't blame the Eibusher. The Eibusher is helping. Helps. The Eibusher is helping constantly. We should help ourselves. That we should tap into what the Eibusher is trying to help us. What the Eibusher is trying to give us. That we're entering into big Giluyim, big things, Gilu HaMashiach. And we're sitting, playing in sandboxes. So I once said, this is very important. I'm not talking to you. I'm really talking to myself. The Zayder Rav Pinson used to say that a Fabrengen is eine ret, eine schweigt in alle Herren. One person is quiet, or another way of saying is one person's talking to himself, and everyone's overhearing. It's not a musar. A musar is like I'm telling you, you're this, you're this. Fabrengen it's a collective. Someone has to talk. Otherwise, it becomes a little uncomfortable, maybe. So, the person's really talking to himself, and you're listening to the conversation you're having with me, with myself. It's not a kumi. Get out of the sandbox. Live higher. Live deeper. Stop believing that you're small, and garnished, and you're nothing, and nothing's ever amount to you. The katnus. Tome Yikra, it talks about a person that's sorry, Tome Yikra, there's a word from the Ramdu, he says like this, that Tome Yikra, Rashi says, okay, Chazal says, Gemara says, you have to, someone that's mitzvah, you have to megal, someone that's a choyle, you megal sorry berabim, so people should mispal for him. He says, no, Tome Yikra is basa aniyas. If you believe you're Tome Yikra. If you believe you're Tame, you believe you're talking the garnished. Basa aniyas. The Gemara says that after a poor man always becomes more poor. Why? Because the poor man thinks he's poor. So you think you're poor, you talk poor, you'll be poor. There was once the Rebbe Lublin, the Chayza was once sitting by a tish, the Chayza Lublin, and they were serving the first course, and it was a fish course, and the first piece was always the best piece. It was the best piece of fish. So how did they do? Everyone was sitting around the table, and the person that brought the fish brought in the first, and then everyone passes the plate, right? So the chayzer turns to his son and says, "You see that guy in the corner, that oni, that schlepper, he's going to get the best piece of fish." And kachava, the fish went around. Everyone passed it, and landed by him. So the son tells the chayzer, says, "Tata, how do you know this? He says, "No, he's a bar mazel. He has good mazel. He has good mazel. He has good mazel. He's gonna get a good piece of fish." So the son said, "But Tata, if he's such a big bar mazel, why is he a schlepper? Why is he an oni?" He says, because all he dreams about is the best piece of fish by the chayzer Friday night. The whole week he says, tonight, Friday night, I'm going to get the best piece of fish by the chayzer. So guess what? He gets the best piece of fish. He's thinking katnus. So that's what he got. He's talking about mazel. If he would have thought that he's going to be the balabas in his own table with his own fish, he would have been that. Elamai, he was thinking that this is the katnus. You say tama yikra, basa aniyasa. We think, what's the biggest level we can reach is that. So that's what you're going to get. It's begashmis, it's beruchnis, it's nafshistik on every single madrega, every single level. We're higher than Mazel. Hey Mazel Yisrael, I am Mazel Yisrael. But the problem is that we put little hagdoras, we put little tiny little perceptions of what we can achieve physically, spiritually, everything. I want the best fish by the chayzim. Okay, I want to be a shlamazel, but the best fish. And what's not? There's not Gvala. It's believable. But who get what? It's believable. David is a believable. You're connected to believable. It's ain't Sophius. This is business. Just David just says, "I'm giving you everything," and we're saying, "Okay, I want the best fish." It's not enough. We have to shake it off, shake off the dust, open our eyes. Learn Chassidus, you start get to a certain akara, what's possible. When the Baal Shem said, when the Mashiach told the Baal Shem, in Masikasi Mark, you put some in a Sacha Chutzah, it says, Yasim Yichudit Kemoischa. Yasim Yichudit Kemoischa, it's like the part that was left out a little bit. Yasim Yichudit Kemoischa means that the Mashiach said that people labeled him Yachid Yichudim like the Baal Shem. No one believes that. You believe that? Baal Shem. Yeah, Fatzmeir is Yasim Yichudit Kemoischa, the Baal Shem. Once in 1,000 years, a person lives like the Baal Shem. So what's up? Everyone in their madrega, but at least don't give yourself a cap. Don't put the cap on this. Don't cap your greatness. Not begashnis, not beruchnis. There's a business oitzis and tzachon al-machama. Even the simple soldiers can be very, very high. So the Eibush should help. The Eibush does help. We should help ourselves to be open to the brachas that the Eibush wants to give us. To shake it up, shake off the dust, stop playing in the sandbox. And we should play big leagues, no longer minor leagues. You know, minor leagues it's not mamish the right crowd for minor or major. But there's a minor league. You know what a minor is? Katnas. There's a league that plays in Katnas. And then there's the best player in the minor league. And that's his shifa, to become the best minor leaguer. And then someone's playing in a different league. We have to just enter a different league. And at that league, we can play in the highest level. L'chaim, l'chaim. First, we have to believe that it's possible. And then, that's the first thing. Believe that it's even possible. Then, when you're struggling with something, I don't know if it's a thought during davening, whatever the thing is that you're struggling with it, there's two ways how to stop. There's two ways how to. One thing is, how am I going to deal with this issue? And try to push it. Let's say it's a machshava zara, I'm going to push it aside. Another one is, wait, I'm having this thought. How's it possible? I just made up 2 minutes ago I'm a tzaddik. So how can I have this machshava? Do you understand? Of course it works. Do you train yourself how you think about yourself? Because most people think that if I'm having a struggle, then I am in the struggle. So I'm going to push that struggle. I'm going to be more. And then you're like, I'm actually beyond the struggle. And once you start training yourself to the recognition that you're beyond the trouble, slowly, I'm not saying this is it, but it's the mindset. What is your mindset? Are you a ish shalom, or you're a broken person? Are you a yetzer tov or yetzer hara, or you're in between? And the way you're gonna interact with the world is gonna be according to the perception of how you think about yourself. So understand what a tzaddik means, and what it means to live from the place of the yetzer tov, what it means to live from a higher place, At least understand in your avona, in your understanding. And then constantly throughout the day, chapzach. If, let's say a person falls, because a person is going to fall. It's not like it's not a state you reach. A person falls, then they look back and say, "What just happened? I was such a high person. I was such a good place. Why did this person get me angry? I don't get angry anymore. Not I'm a person that's struggling with anger. Okay, you're struggling with anger. You're still sitting in a sandbox. I never get angry. I just got angry? That's the question. The question is, why did I get angry? Not that I'm a person that struggles with anger, and therefore, if I have anger, okay, so that's who I am. I get angry. No, I'm a person I never get angry. I live with these shtavas. I never get angry. I just got angry. Sassy sticker. Why did I just get angry? Okay, I fell. I went to my lower self. Okay, fine. Forgive yourself. Go weiter. Pick yourself up. And train yourself this way. Train yourself slowly this way. To live bigger. To live higher. You're davening, you have a machshava zora. Stop fighting. Stop pushing. Stop doing everything. Me? I have a machshava zora while I'm davening? It's a pass nicht. You walk down the street and if you think of yourself this way, try to imagine if you were that person, how would you act? How would you act if you were Takir? You were Tzaddik. How would you act? You'd walk different, right? You would imagine a Tzaddik would walk different, talk different. You would talk quietly, nicely, elegantly. You wouldn't use, certain language. You'd speak properly, right? Lashon Nakiya. You would do that. That's what you would expect from someone that's living at a higher level. So you fall, weiter you fall. Go further, pick yourself up. In a way, it's mamish simple. I'm not saying it's simple, it's easy in avoida, in actuality, in practice, but in a way, it's just really, it's a reorientation of your mindset. It's to shift your mindset. Instead of thinking one way, to think a different way. Think higher. And it's shayach. This is what he's saying. It's shayach. This is the Kesar HaMelech. This was given over to us. And we're it. This is it. This is Dor HaGula. We have to live this way. But again, it's easier. It's more comfortable. It's just a certain routine. But to live with the hechekite is Emunah Yadvekas. The Baal Shem writes that Emunah Chassidus is Emunah Yadvekas. Emunah means Dvekas. Chassidish Svarim says Emunah is klarkeit. Klarkeit means clarity, openness. To live this way. To choose to live this way. To choose to live this way. And then Nebish said, if you choose to live this way, I'm gonna give you all the oitzers, all the things that were hidden away for generations. As Matani, there's oitzer gnuzay. There's Shabbos. Shabbos is one of the oitzers of the Eibishter. What's Shabbos? Shabbos is a hechekite. What does it mean to live Shabbos? What's a Yid living on Shabbos? Shabbos, a Yid lives like a melech, right? See, on Shabbos, a Yid lives like a king. Dresses in his best clothes, eats the finest food. He lives like a king. This is the Oitzik Nuzeh. This is the Eibish's. This is the Eibish's Gnuz. This is that a Yid should be begash mesamberuchnis. The Eibish's kids. For the Eibish's children, so then we should behave like the Eibish's children. For to the Eibish's children, we have to look like the Eibish's children. We have to act like the Eibish's children. We have to look this way. With all the yoifi of that. The hechekite. Your father's the king of the world. How do you act? Understand? This is a way to live. The stolzkeit. You live with yeah. With the netzach.
It sounds kind of trite, but how to choose.
Yeah, of course. No, it's not trite. It's not trite. It's emes. This is the b'shvil nivra olam. This is a real thing. To really feel that this is the kavanah, that Eibishter. Avada. What's kesser? It's kesser. It's yesh v'yesh. It's yesh yesh. Yesh anivra yesh aboyer. Yesh anivra yesh aboyer. It's ein v'yesh. It's chibur ein v'yesh. It's called everything. That's why Yud Aleph decided in the Firoz, but that's why Yud Aleph is shtustik dusha. Also that. Avada. It's the highest. It's the highest. It's the Kesar Malchus. This is the king's crown. We have the Esam HaMelech. To the Stolz guy, I think I once told this story. It's a funny story. It's a story that happened with me. So I'll just tell it over. Nafshis, the story. Many years ago, we moved to a neighborhood in Park Slope, near Park Slope. It's a very, 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 very liberal neighborhood. Full of Jews, very liberal. And the first sukkahs we were there, I remember Sukkot. I lived in Crown Heights my whole life. And Sukkot was Sukkot. And Fabracht, everyone Fabrengen every night. Sukkot. My earliest memory, one of my earliest memories, is my Zayda, Rav Pinson used to Fabrengen every night Sukkot, the Sukkah. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, my mother comes out of the house, and she sees that me and my grandfather were rolling on the streets, making samosas. I remember this very clear because my mother started telling started screaming, "Tata, what's this get on?" And basically, he gave me a little l'chaim, basically, because he was Russian. That's the way they. I wasn't shikha chas v'shalom, didn't make sure, but I was like a little big luf, and me and him there was hundreds of people. It was like ganze matzah over there, but I remember rolling on Montgomery Street rolling. This is my memories. Kids, I moved to this neighborhood, and we're doing kiruv, we're doing, reaching out to secular Jews and trying to get them involved in Yiddishkeit. And comes Sukkot. We moved like before Tishrei, it was Sukkot time, and we made a sukkah in our backyard. And Sukkot, Fabrengen, I don't know, this is what you do, you make noise, this is what you do. So I remember we asked my wife's grandfather, Yosef Weinberg, the one that wrote the translation of Tanya, we asked him to come to Fabrengen. My other Zayda was already Neil Mamas. So he came to Fabrengen. It was a big Fabrengen. We had like 100 people, secular Jews. We were Fabrengen. We were trying to teach him some nigunim. It was like a matzav. The next morning, we got the police, proclamations, signed petitions. The Jews, the religious Jews are moving into the neighborhood, ruining the. By the way, everyone was Jewish. The whole block is Jews. They're a bunch of Jews, and complaining. And people stopped me, like, what do you do? It was noise and it was loud. Never mind, it was noise. Like, hey, it was noise, but it was not noise. It was like this noise, you understand? It was not real noise. I've ever had a tremendous chlish sadas. I did. Play it on the street. I had a chlish sadas. I'm like, maybe taka, maybe why should I, maybe, azalta l'karta, halach bin musa. You have to, when you're in Rome, you have to be in the Romans. Maybe we should taka. What do you have to make noise? This had this chilish sadas for like a few hours, or let's say. Like as if my mindset was, I'm like intruding. You understand? This is like a very comfortable liberal neighborhood, and now I'm intruding in the neighborhood. Then I started thinking, no, this whole thing is really mamash, completely. It's completely a 360. The tachlis hakavana, this whole block, this whole neighborhood, is that I should move there. No one knows this on the block yet. The Jews don't know this. But the only reason why they are all living there and they're living on this block is they're waiting for me. Why? The Eibusher was Msabas Sivum. There was Eibusher created certain type of things. The Eibusher wanted these people to be inspired. So from the beginning of the Bria, thousands of years ago, there was a kavana that there's a place in Brooklyn that's going to have these Jews. These are going to be together because they're going to need. And so the whole, it's not shot. I'm moving into their neighborhood and I'm, forget it. They moved to my neighborhood. I'm actually not me. I'm not saying we. What I was trying to represent. It's not. You understand? It changed the whole mindset. This is what I'm talking about. The Goren Yaakov. It's like Pshat is voracious. B'shul Yisrael, b'shul HaTorah. It's not like it's a nice slogan. The Tachas Abriya is Taka there should be a Yid and Kaim Torah Mitzvahs. This is what the Tachas Abriya is. B'shul Yisrael, b'shul HaTorah. This is the voracious. This is the Kavanah. And the whole world should be affected by that. And that's why we elevate the whole world. And the whole and Vikir Kol Yeshu Sevel. Everyone becomes Takar and Alikus. But a person should never walk around like, I belong here, I don't belong here, this is my place, it's not your place. What do you, this is Hashem Tzaddik Gavar Karan. This is the Eibusher wants you to be in this place. Of course you have to act like an Erlich Yid and make a Kiddush Hashem. It shouldn't come with the arrogance. But it should come with the awareness that this is the kavanah. We should walk around. We should Mekadashim Shemayim Barabim. Every time a person looks at us, a person looks at a Yid, should say, "Wow, that's Shem Shemayim Shogeg." We feel this is a person that looks like this is what the kavanah is. We have to act like kings and queens, like princes and princesses, because this is who we are. This is who Batsum we are. And it's not enough for Kumbi. Bravo Hashem is Yom Kabacha. Shake yourself out. Act the way it is. Own it. Believe in it. Feel it. And the Gadol will be there. The Gadol will be there. This is the oitzis that are available. These are the treasures that are available. Was noch? Was soll ich fragen? Ja, okay, frag. No, you start living this way. So the first time you fall, you come, it is this. But then eventually you start living that way. What do you mean? You become a tzaddik. What do you mean? You want to know what happens on a positive level? No, that you're going to daven like a man. You can have the dveikus. You're going to daven with dveikus. You're going to daven with. You're able to learn with klarkeit. You're able to do a mitzvah with the gishmak. So they're saying that's like overcoming the negative. That's okay. That's one element. What's like the positive element of that? What's the asay tov of that? So when a person is living with no dichotomy and living with the hechikait, then everything you're doing is with beauty. Be able to learn, be able to daven, be able to work, be able to speak to people. Everything comes with in a different way. Huh? Everything about. Yeah. The hersens. You know what? I'll say like this. The positive you're going to experience. Right? The negative, everyone can talk about the negative. You can say what you have to overcome, but then I'm going to explain. Tell me what does it mean to be in love? I don't know. What does it mean? If you're in love, you know what it is. Like, what does it mean to have Avos Hashem? Can I explain what it is? If you have Avos Hashem, you know what it is. You can explain the symptoms of it, but you can't explain the feeling. The feeling is a feeling. So you're going to feel a little hechakite and a little dovik. You're davening. Let's say davening. It's an easy thing. Your davening is going to be different. Your relationship with your children will be different. It's also very negative. Not also, very negative. The whole atmosphere in the house will be different. It's kind of hechigkeit. Edelkeit. Ja. up Maisa. It's a very nice story. Binigel in Yonenu. Something connected to what we're talking about. So there's a Maisa like this that Sheila of Bells. No, Bashwacha. Yeah? Okay. Close. Samach Venera. So he heard that the Noam Melech, the Rebbe of Melech, promised that Mashiach will come in his lifetime, and if not in his lifetime, in the lifetime of one of his Talmidim. So the Sheila Bells had a shtickle faribel on the Noam Melech, had a shtickle like a little bit of complaint because he passed away and all his Talmidim already passed away. V'adayin lo bo. Mashiach hasn't yet arrived. So this is the Maisa that Rebbe Melech appears to Reb Sheila in a dream and says, I hear that you have a shtickle faribel on me, you're upset, that I promised something, it's not true. So he says, yeah. He says, so Adrabah, ask me a shaila, you'll become my Talmud. Become my Talmud, you'll still have a Talmud in this world. So they're learning this week's parsha, B'Shalach. The shaila was that he asked him, he said, the whole Ascholas Agula, Yitzias Mitzrayim, the beginning, the whole process of going out of Mitzrayim was Vayinoch Avoida, Yizaku, Yishma Hashem Tzakosam. They cried out to the Eibishter. There's a cry. They davened. The Rucham HaKodesh says that they mamash davened. They Yitzaku. The Eibishter heard it as a tefillah. It was a tefillah. And the whole idea of going out of Mitzrayim is that Mitzrayim is connected with Golas Adibur, that there's a constriction of speech, and the whole tachlis of Yitzias Mitzrayim is Mount Saper, Pesach, Pesach. The whole idea is Dibur and Tefillah. So how come when it comes to Kriyas Yamsuf, when Klal Yisrael was mispal, the Eibishter said, Ma titzuk elai, davar b'nei Yisrael v'Yisrael. Ma titzuk elai, davar b'nei Yisrael. But so Ma titzuk elai, what's that? Ma titzuk elai? Why are you screaming to me? That's the whole project is davening. Ma titzuk elai. So the Zohar HaKadosh actually asks the same shaila. The Zohar says that Dabatika Tolamil said it has to do with Atik, a high madrega of Shtika, of Highland Tibur, but this is the shaila that he asked. So Rebbe Melech told him a mashal. Mashal l'ma'adav. What's the mashal? What's the metaphor of this? He said like this, that there was once a king and a queen. They didn't have children for many years. And then the queen became pregnant. And of course, there's a very big excitement because the king is going to have a heir. He's going to have a child, and that will be the king or the queen of the future. And the mother is about to give birth. The queen is about to give birth. But there's tremendous atziras. She can't give birth. There's a lot of difficulties. She can't actually release the baby. And they call all the doctors, and everyone's coming, and no one has a remedy to get the baby out of the mother's womb. And it's becoming dangerous. The baby's too long in the womb, it's also dangerous. A kitzur, there's an little old yid comes into town and hears the story, and he comes to the king and he says, I have a solution. And the king is, okay, you're not a doctor, you're not anything, why should I listen to you? He says, listen, you have no eitzah. The mother's going to die soon, if the queen is going to die if you don't. I have an eitzah, but tonight, this is the eitzah. My advice is, I can only tell you my advice only if it's me, you, and the queen in the room. No one else should be in the room. Everyone, send all the doctors, everyone out of the room. And when you send out of the room, I'm going to tell you the advice, and you'll see she'll give birth. So they send everyone out of the room. And this little wise old man says to the king, I want you now to send the proclamation. Send with the trumpet, send with all the with all a proclamation all over the city that the queen just gave birth to a healthy child. She gave already birth. The king said, but she didn't give birth. That's the problem. She's not giving birth. He says, listen to me. Make a big proclamation that the queen just gave birth to a child, and long live the king. We have another king, another queen. A kid said, they sent out a proclamation, which is not true yet. And there's dancing in the street. And the queen hears the dancing and says, what's going on? They said, you just gave birth to a child, and everyone's very happy. And they're all, it says she relaxed, and she gave birth to a child. It says the Noam Elimelech told the Reb Shila Bells in a dream that Klal Yisrael was mispalel. Mispalel, we davened, and we received Gula. When it came to Kriyas Yamsuf, the Eibusha said, now needs to be the birth of the child. Ma titzak alai. Stop davening. Act as if the tefillah was already in his kabel. As if the baby was already born. Act as if the baby was already born, as if the ness of Kriyas Yamsuf already happened. So you saw. What would happen? You're waiting for the miracle to happen. You're waiting for the ness to occur. Act as if ma titzak alai. Stop davening. And if you want the birth of Klal Yisrael to be born through Kriyas Yamsuf, through the birth canal of Kriyas Yamsuf, you have to just stop and imagine it already happened. And that's Kachahava. Dabnei Yisov Yisov, and Nachshon jumped into the thing, and Kriyas Yamsuf happened. So what is he saying? Saying that in order for something to happen, you have to believe it already happened. Because sometimes the only reason why it's not happening is because you still think that you have to be shoyef for it to happen. You have to want it to happen. I need to daven for it to happen. The Rebbe says if you're still in a tikva, you're still in the hope that it's going to happen, it's never going to happen. But if you start living as if it already happened, then it happens. And this is big gashmis and baruchnis, physically and spiritually. I want to reach that madrega. If you still only want to reach that madrega, you'll never reach it because you only want it. But if you start with batitzakalai, daven b'nei Yisrael v'Yisrael, of course you have to daven and daven and daven, and of course that was also part of the whole Kriyas Mitzrayim. But at some point you have to say, you have to act as if you achieved what you're trying to desire. You have to be machakel b'yosei, and you also have to believe. You have to open your eyes and see Mashiach. It's the same nekuda. You want it to already happen. Act as if it already happened. It's true. There's two take. It's a nice afachim. It's a nice afachim. It's a nice afachim in avoiding tzam Mashiach, because you have to be mechakel b'yosei, and mechakel b'yosei, and mechakel b'chol yom sheyaveh, and yet you have to recognize the Mashiach shinda. Yeah. Since when do things are a problem? You see how you're very upset. The other Azayah that has as a gate Azayah. Maybe it could be a little bit Azayah. Everything's nichul. Azayah skal l'samidus. No, you tell them the nekuda. No, the vort is a oimik the gevort, and it's negate everything. Yeah, you bought already the vigala for the bracha. Not you want. If you're mitzapeh, if you're kindly, I'm a kaveh for this thing, the kivuy. It doesn't mean that all the tefillahs before was not. It's not a steer. You understand? It's not. Avada. Ich weiß nicht, that's etwas anderes. That's not. That's no. Das ist die nafschistige Sache. That's I said. Boss aniyasa. Was an is it? The Psashlaper. You're going to go weiter. You're going to get the best fish by the Chayzer. Zij zijn gewoon met dat bidden, wissel maar, ja. Ich weiß nicht, ob du willst, dass sie sein als Agvir. So it's you have to really want it. If you don't want it, that's okay. You understand? Vayitzaku, Dabar B'nai Yisrael v'Yisrael. We have to own it. It's a business oitzis. The Eibush is giving all the brachas, gashmi v'ruchnim. We have to take it to the bank. This is the Eibush wants from us. Ravel Chesheves Beimek Abochem. It's a nafshesdik. It's a nafshesdik. It's a nafshesdik Zach. Yeah, it's a nafshesdik Zach. Genish. That's anders, yeah? No, it's a nafshesdik Zach. Not spending money. That's not what I'm sure. But let's say you made $100 million tonight, yeah? You'd walk a little different in the street? Walk. I'm not talking about spend. You'd walk different? Let's say you just finished Shas tonight. You'd walk different in the street? Let's say there's daven, there's a good avoid to get davening. You'd walk different? That's where you have to walk. Walk as if you reached the madrega. Then the Skiris Yamsuf. The Eibush is waiting for us to own it. Doba Atikim Tolemils, it's an Eilam Atik, it's beyond Avoida. It's Netak Mikol Avoida. Well, the Chaim Yidden, I actually have to run, because I have to go back to Brooklyn.
How are you getting it?
Have my rider. No. I promise I'll be at 2 o'clock in Brooklyn. Das ist der Friede gab es mit der Yesoi, das ist mit des Malchus, mich gerät. You came late. Man weiß nicht an eine halbe Arbeit. You come have to verscheines. Frage bitte Brüder, figure out die ganze Sache. Das Alte ist Tag da wurde von Schucke von der Seite. Das ist eine neue Weide, das ist eine neue Weide. Da fuß auf mir irgendwas, das ist eine neue Weide. Ha? Ich soll das Schucke, warte. Der Inteures Baal Shem, mit der Yesoi ist Tanog, which is actually connected to Kesser. But the Baal Shem, when he is mefarish midas hayesod, this is the geschmack. This is the Baal Shem, the ois is the Baal Shem. Chenish. Yeah, the soft perik yedalad. Ulai haive ulai yal ruch morim steht da in begin des Ibor von Atzadik. Aber die Schiffe zu sein, mashbi moiset die Tzadik. Nicht mashbi moiset die Beineni. Beschat mit koach. Es ist koach, es ist mit Lumaya sein koach aus Poel. This avoid, yeah, you have to know how to read it a little bit. Wer ist Chabad? Sagst Chabad. Dor Ashishi, Dor Achamishi, Vechador. Es ist andere Avoides. Der Rebbe schon sagen, Avoides, eine andere Avoide von ganz eine andere Avoides. Mit Afreden, Baruch, da Fabrengen, über Butel Maschke, but it's a different Avoide. Nein, ich darf schon gehen, sorry. Ich darf vorhin zu Brooklyn. Ich kann nicht. Ich habe schon getrunken, Heinz, also ich viel. Es ist Lomeilen und am Schur. Ich bin nicht nüchtern. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Bam 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 bam